You know what I saw that YouTube did, which I think is one of the examples of AI that I like, because I don't think it's a thing to always shit on, but you know, there are a lot of like use cases where I'm like, yeah, I don't like that. They added a tool to help you research what would be good for you to make content wise faster. It doesn't make the content for you. It takes data that it already has, and it takes videos that are working, so it's using its own data set and then giving you ideas on some video titles or video ideas that you could make that your audience would probably want to watch. It's very interesting. It's one of the uses, again, that I think is like what it should actually be for. I don't know how good it is, right? But the fact that it's trained on its own data set and it's using its own data to just make these assumptions. It's looking at videos that people have posted to see what tends to work. And it's like, hey, this would probably work. It's, in my opinion, not too far off from a person spending a lot of time doing the same research and finding the same things, right? Except it's using its own data more, so I feel like it probably has more evidence to think what it's thinking. I don't know, it's very interesting. I don't know how much I'll really use it, because I tend to come to those conclusions myself, but it's one of the few times I got AI jump scared, but was like, oh, but this is okay though. You know? Like, I get it though, you know? I wasn't immediately like, why is there something? It was just like, it was fine, right? It was fine. Factorio YouTuber you follow posted some examples and they were bad. The ones that it gave me were actually pretty good. So I think maybe it's good from certain or on certain channels and maybe not on others. I think it tries to generate some thumbnail examples that you could use, and I think those are not good. But everything else with the word choices aren't too bad so far. But that's just what it's showing for me. I don't know if any of you use your YouTube channels like that, but I'm curious to know if it's good for you or not. Does it work for you? I don't know. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Kind of feels like something they already had and then slapped AI on the end of it. Yeah. Well, people really do a bad job of classifying what is and isn't AI. Like, they do a terrible job of that. So when people try to work in tech and they start looking at job listings, these job listings will say, you should be familiar with this, this, and that. We use AI to do XYZ. They use AI and machine learning like buzzwords, and the thing that's being done is really like a simple script of some kind that's using data from their own data set. There's no actual AI, but a lot of companies that sell tech services will tell these executives or whoever's doing the hiring that they use AI and machine learning to make it sound fancy to do a thing, instead of going, oh yeah, we use scripts, right? So then when those people turn around and are hiring someone to do that thing, they're like, we need someone who's familiar with AI and machine learning, but it's not AI at all. It's not the same technology. Yeah, what you said, these days algos get mixed up with AI almost constantly. Yeah, an algorithm is very different from what AI is doing, but they'll mean that, but they'll say AI in like a job listing and it became buzzwordy, and too many things that aren't AI at all or machine learning at all get presented as if they are, and they're literally not. And it's just horribly misrepresented in that world. I've had friends come to me because they're like, hey, I want to get a job in this thing and that thing. Can you help me do my resume, whatever? And several people have been like in a panic because they're going, oh, so many job listings in my field are saying that I need to be able to do this. I need to understand machine learning. And I'm like, you actually don't. With everything that they listed out here and what this job is, you definitely do not. Like they're definitely not using that for this thing, you know? But it freaks people out sometimes. It makes them think they need to be an expert in that field, but it's not at all. Like when they call a storage server the cloud. Yeah. They have one singular dedicated server with their storage, and they're like, we're gonna upload it to the cloud because it's not stored on their own hard drive. Yeah, it's every little programming job. There aren't that many people realistically that actually work in that field and day to day use or create AI tools when it comes to like the tech field. That really, it's not a high count of people, but the number of job applications or listings that will ask for it is like too damn high. It's crazy. It's crazy, the disparity, but whatever. It ain't real. That's all you need to know. But anyway, YouTube's version of it was actually okay for some of the stuff it was trying to tell me to do, and I was surprised. I was very surprised, but I don't know. Is it like that for everyone? Does it understand a lot of content types? Maybe the way I do my content, it thinks, you know, oh, this is, or not thinks, it is an easier one for you to maybe come up with some stuff in. I don't know. Probably not going to use it. Cool to see, but I still just do my thing. What I do realistically is I don't come up with sometimes I do it, but it's rare. I don't always come up with a video first. I just sit down with someone and go, what do you want to talk about? And they talk about what they want to talk about. We come up with an outline of topics to make sure we hit. And then I go, what if we title it this? And they go, oh yeah, something like that sounds good. And then we just start talking just with that in the back of our minds. That's it. There you go. Like good old fashioned brainstorming. Yeah. So what I see is maybe these tools helping people do that faster, but I don't think it's all there yet. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I love the topic, but I also don't like getting too deep into some parts of it because it's one of those things where, like, no matter how you talk about it, people freak the fuck out. So I just like to talk about the tech itself, but not too much beyond it. You know what I mean? Ooh, your beef with AI was a coworker using it to generate a metric ton of code that's impossible to review. Oh, man. That's like, yeah, what is it? Malicious compliance in a way, or could be, depending on how that situation went. For sure, for sure. That's funny. But anyway, at the end of the day, just learn to do your job, because no matter if you use a tool to assist yourself or whatever, you need to know how to explain it, okay? You need to be able to sit there and point at that thing you put in front of somebody and go, well, this is what it is. You know, you just need to have that level of understanding at least. If you have something auto-generate a script for you, proofread it, you know, oversight, all of that, please. That's all I ask. I've had some people use ChatGPT in the past to, auto-generate proposals that they would send over. And I would read through it and I would go, hey, a lot of this straight up does not make sense. Like, it's not true. And they'd be like, oh, let me fix that. And they'd go fix it. And the way it would read would be completely different. And I'd be able to tell that they didn't write it the first time. And almost always I could tell it was ChatGPT, because when you compare it with how it spoke to how what they wrote spoke, it just, you could tell. There's nothing wrong with using it to give yourself an outline and then changing it around, but they would just give me like the generated text, it like exactly verbatim. And that was just not good. Not good, man. People can tell. When you try to use it, it's so wrong, it isn't even funny. It depends. There are certain things where it's going to be able to find that information very readily, and other times it won't. So, you know, do your own research. But that's the case in this world, right? Whether you're using a tool to do research or you're looking at someone else who did their research and then you're trying to fact check, you should just always look over and fact check everything before you present it as your own, you know? That's just how it is.